The high-rise hummed with efficiency, but tonight, silence hung taut. Asher Hayes stepped from the black car, his sneakers meeting polished pavement. He pulled his charcoal hoodie tighter, hands tucked inside. The New York financial district air smelled of exhaust, concrete, and ambition. Before him, Titan Tower pierced the twilight, its glass gleaming. 51% was his legacy, enough to command, not enough to be seen. He entered the lobby he'd envisioned: marble, chrome, minimalist art, hushed jazz, perfect, but perfection only mattered until people walked in. Asher approached the front desk. His footsteps were light, deliberate. Chloe, a young white woman in her 20s, hair neatly braided, blazer impeccable, looked up, blinked, then down, tapping her keyboard with indifference. Asher cleared his throat. "Hi, reservation. Name's Hayes." Chloe didn't meet his eyes. "First name?" "Asher." A pause. Tap, tap. She frowned. Nothing under Asher Hayes. Odd. Try Hayes or corporate, Sterling Group hospitality, penthouse suite. Her tone shifted, clinical. "Confirmation number?" "No, booked internally. Note attached. Suite 4201. Chloe tapped, sighing. "Booking under Sterling Group, but that's for senior executives, corporate clients, not casual walk-ins." She eyed his sneakers. Asher let the silence stretch. "That's me." She blinked, then skepticism flickered. "You're with corporate?" "I'm the CEO." The smirk hardened. Chloe tapped a call button, murmured, "Just a moment," and vanished. Asher knew this dance. He'd lived it countless times, a quiet evaluation always bubbling beneath polite smiles. Asher turned. Two immaculately dressed guests walked to another clerk. Smiles, small talk, keys in seconds. He watched them, a casual observer, but every detail registered. The easy exchange, the deference shown to their appearance. He waited. The jazz music, once a soothing background, now felt like a taunt, a soundtrack to the subtle hierarchy at play. Officer Anya, late 40s, hand resting near her belt, scanned Asher's attire. "Sir, problem here?" Her voice was flat, without genuine concern. Asher calmly, "No, just checking in." "Gotcha. Just hanging around?" Her tone implied suspicion, not helpfulness. "Reservation," he stated. "Explain that." Anya's posture didn't change, but the air tightened around Asher. He noted the way her gaze lingered on his hoodie. A silent judgment passed without a single word being uttered. Brenda Sterling, the night manager, emerged. Mid-40s, styled blonde hair, clipboard like a shield. Evening, confusion. Her cool professionalism felt like a thinly veiled condescension. Asher calmly, "No confusion. Checking in. Penthouse suite, Sterling Group, Asher Hayes." Brenda smiled, eyes cold. "Can't assign without corporate confirmation. Protocol." "I'm the CEO. I arranged it." Brenda paused, a flicker of disbelief crossing her face. "I.D.?" Asher handed his license and business card. Brenda took them, glanced for seconds, handed them back. Her fingers brushed his, but there was no warmth, only a detached efficiency. "You look different from what I expected," she said, eyeing his hoodie once more, her words weighted with unspoken comparison. Asher didn't blink. "What did you expect?" He held her gaze, challenging the unspoken prejudice. Brenda's smile faltered. "Impersonation issues before. You understand?" The excuse felt flimsy, a convenient cover for her own preconceived notions. "No, I don't." Tension coiled tighter, a palpable current in the elegant lobby. Brenda gestured. "Perhaps you could wait over there while we verify?" It wasn't a suggestion. It was an instruction to remove him from the prominent space. Asher didn't move. "I'll stand here." Anya inched closer, her presence a silent threat. Chloe reappeared, hanging back, her gaze darting between Asher and her manager. The couple watched from the bar, whispering, their sips of cocktails punctuated by curious stares. This was the moment they all, silently, collectively, decided he didn't belong. A quiet shuffle. Mr. Davies, housekeeping, late 50s, dark skin, spotless uniform, stepped to retrieve supplies. Brenda noticed. "Davies, you don't need to be here." Her voice was sharp, a clear command for him to disappear, to remain invisible. Mr. Davies glanced at Asher, a quiet nod that conveyed understanding. He grabbed sanitizer, whispered as he passed, "Hold steady, sir. Let them dig their hole." A shared knowing, a quiet act of solidarity in a moment of blatant disrespect. Asher almost smiled, a brief flash of warmth in the cold encounter. Chloe, emboldened by Brenda's presence, took another jab. "You sure this is your hotel?" Her tone was laced with an almost mocking disbelief. Asher turned his head. "Didn't say mine, said I run it." His voice remained even, a quiet authority that seemed to confound them further. Brenda crossed her arms, her patience wearing thin. "Odd. Reservation from corporate, but your name not on file." "Wouldn't be. Booked anonymously. Wanted to see how staff treated strangers." He spoke the truth plainly, directly into their assumptions. Anya tensed, sensing the shift in power. Chloe shifted nervously. "Expect us to. Believe you're conducting a secret audit?" Chloe scoffed, the word audit tasting like a bitter joke in her mouth. Asher looked through her, his gaze unwavering. "Don't expect belief. Expect respect, whether they own the building or not." His words, delivered with calm precision, cut through the air. Silence, heavy, accusatory, it settled over the lobby. Glass doors swung open. An older man, sharp eyes, simple attire. He paused, approached. "Mr. Henderson." Asher nodded, a faint recognition in his eyes. "Evening, sir. Back?" "Recognize that look," Mr. Henderson said, his voice carrying a knowing quality. "This place once made me feel I'd wandered where I wasn't invited." A surprising echo of Asher's own thoughts. Asher studied him. "But you're here now." "I am. My grandson just got hired. Came to see how they'd treat him. Seems I came on the right day." His gaze swept over Brenda, Chloe, and Anya, a silent indictment. Brenda stiffened. Chloe looked at the floor. Anya's jaw clenched. Asher didn't respond. A line was drawn, quietly, firmly. Mr. Davies returned with water, set it by Asher without a word. Silence spoke everything. Asher took the glass. He dialed. Voice answered instantly. "This is Hayes," he said, eyes on Brenda. "Activate the Delta. 6 file now." He ended the call, placed the phone gently on the counter. "I suggest you check again." The chill pressed harder. Asher's mind drifted to another lobby, years ago. He was 22, in his only suit, applying for a junior manager role. The hiring manager. "You're articulate, Mr. Hayes, but we're looking for someone more aligned with the brand aesthetic." He remembered smiling, walking out slowly, shaking. The jar on his fridge owned something, a daily dare. Sharper memories. Age 25, pitching his first startup. Samuel Reed, a rising VC star, chuckled, "Cute idea, kid, but honestly, you don't have the gravitas. Need someone who looks like they belong." Asher left burning with cold resolve. He never forgot those words, the casual cruelty of being judged solely on appearance. Now, in the lobby of his own empire, that same fire burned. Chloe saw sneakers, not stature. Brenda saw race and casual attire, not credentials. Anya saw security risk, not CEO. Asher's reflection tightened his jaw. History pressed in, sharpening him. He'd stood too long in places that tried to shrink him. Now they would stretch. He stepped forward, taller. Silence after Asher's call was thick. No one moved. Chloe looked at Brenda for instructions. Anya's stance shifted, a subtle loss of dominance. Asher didn't flinch. His phone remained on the counter. No one dared touch it. Brenda folded her arms, voice clipped. "Who did you call?" Her desperation was starting to show. Asher didn't answer. He glanced at the couple at the bar, who were now openly staring, their whispers hushed. He could feel their stares like he was a performance they couldn't turn away from. Then he turned back to Brenda, gaze steady, letting her wait. Lobby doors swung open. 2 men entered. One tall, broad-shouldered in navy, carrying a leather folder. The other leaner, darker suit, earpiece. Samuel Reed and David Cross. Asher felt a jolt of recognition, a twist of fate he hadn't anticipated. Samuel Reed, the man who had dismissed him years ago, was now walking into his hotel, about to unknowingly serve his purpose. Atmosphere cracked. Chloe straightened. Anya's arms dropped. Leo, the intern, caught his breath, his eyes wide. Jazz seemed to fade, replaced by the thrum of impending consequence. Asher nodded a greeting to Samuel and David, a single, decisive gesture. Samuel scanned. "You good, Asher?" His voice was direct, a stark contrast to the deferential tones Asher had been receiving. "I stayed. They didn't." Asher's reply was simple, yet laden with meaning. David stepped forward, holding a folded email. Audit notice sent 2 weeks ago. Incognito visit. Property heads briefed all shifts. His words were calm, official, and damning. Asher's voice quiet. "Looks like they didn't." Anya opened, closed her mouth, no words escaping. Brenda reemerged, clipboard slipping from her grasp. She registered Samuel, then David, then Asher, and the understanding washed over her face. Samuel raised an eyebrow at Brenda. "Why is our CEO standing outside his lobby, questioned by security, denied suite access?" The words hit like a physical blow. Brenda stammered. "Wasn't confirmed." He gave his name, showed ID, booked corporate like all executives. David cut in, dismantling her flimsy excuse. "Had impersonators before," Brenda insisted, a last-ditch effort to save face. "You didn't ask for confirmation, asked him to step aside," Asher said coldly, locking eyes with Samuel. A flash of memory. Young Samuel's dismissive, "You don't have the gravitas," someone who looks like they belong. Samuel, older now, still oblivious to their shared history, didn't recognize the deep, satisfying irony unfolding. "You summoned security, made him feel like a trespasser." Samuel stepped forward, unknowingly reiterating Asher's own past humiliation, amplifying the poetic justice of the moment. "Not here to argue, here to document failure, yours." Chloe's hands shook, her composure shattering. Leo stood silent, eyes wide, phone clutched in his hand. David placed the memo on the counter. "One job. Treat everyone like they matter, especially when you think they don't." Asher turned to Brenda, voice unwavering. "You thought I didn't belong. Saw a mistake." Brenda's face drained. "And now?" Asher asked. No answer. The question hung in the air, a silent judgment. The lobby pulsed with silent dread. Art, polished surfaces, all seemed misplaced, like a stage set for a scene no one rehearsed. Asher stood, the unmoving center of truth. Asher's voice low. Sweet for observation. Quiet, anonymous, honest observation. Anya blinked, awakening to the gravity of the situation. Brenda broke silence, her voice a thin thread. "Didn't know you were coming. That was the point." Asher replied, "When you know we're watching, You serve smiles. Tonight was real. His words were weighty, undeniable. Brenda's voice thinned further. Had problems before. No, David cut sharply. You had assumptions, and you acted on them. The finality in his tone left no room for argument. Mr. Davies watched from his cart, his eyes holding a quiet satisfaction. His gaze held history, not revenge, a silent acknowledgement that justice, though slow, sometimes arrived. He'd seen this play out too many times, but never with such public, undeniable force. Chloe found her voice, a strained whisper, not trying to be disrespectful. You weren't trying at all. Asher turned to her, his gaze piercing. Looked at me, decided in 3 seconds. Wrong outfit, tone, skin. Chloe dropped her gaze, shame flooding her features. Brenda straightened, clutching her clipboard like a futile shield. Misunderstanding, that's all. Asher's eyes narrowed. Summoned security on a guest. Questioned legitimacy with credentials. Told me I didn't look the part. Brenda opened her mouth, but the sheer weight of those words, spoken so calmly, closed it again. David pulled out a tablet, tapped, lobby screen lit up, paused frame, Asher at counter, Chloe leaning away, Anya aggressive. He pressed play, voices rang out, too clear. Brenda patronizing, Chloe disbelieving, Anya cold. 30 seconds. Felt like courtroom testimony. Silence fell, deeper, heavier. Leo, trembling, stepped forward. There's more. David turned. What do you mean? Recorded it too, Leo said, pulling out his phone. From the side. Saw it happening. I just couldn't let it slide. He added, honestly, first thought it was a rich guy losing it for viral video. Then I saw how they were really treating you. It wasn't about money. It was wrong. Deleted the first part when I realized. His honesty, raw and uncalculated, hung in the air. Samuel nodded. Send to my office immediately. His tone was firm, appreciative of Leo's integrity. Brenda stepped back. Seriously use intern footage. Her voice was incredulous, bordering on defiant. Asha responded, use the truth. Don't care whose hands it comes from. His conviction was absolute. Brenda shook her head, defensive. Doing our jobs. Asher's voice chilled. No, your version of the job. The version that excludes anyone who doesn't look like a brochure. The implication was clear. Their job was tainted by bias. Chloe looked up, panic-stricken. Fired? Her voice was small, desperate. No, David said, not yet. The reprieve, however slight, was still a heavy burden. Brenda turned to Samuel. 11 years, 1 bad night, 1 exposed night. Her plea for leniency was thinly veiled. Asher cut in. Not new behavior, just the first time someone stayed long enough for the mask to fall. He revealed the systemic nature of the problem. Anya stepped back silently, accepting the truth. Asher looked at Mr. Davies. You knew? Mr. Davies nodded slowly. Worked here since doors opened. Seen people turned away for less. Stayed hoping it'd change. Maybe tonight's the start. Asher nodded. It is. His words were a quiet promise. The staff conference room. Asher stepped in. Samuel stood, arms crossed. David adjusted the projector. Leo sat alone. Other staff filed in, drawn faces. Asher stood before them, quiet storm center. You all know who I am now, he began. Last night, most didn't. How I was treated proved it didn't matter. Chloe shifted. Came here without announcement for a reason. Not to catch off guard, to see the truth. The version of this hotel you show when no clipboard watches. David clicked. Projector flickered. Security footage stills. Asher at desk, Chloe averted, Anya moving, Brenda crossing arms. Clear moments. Asher continued. Not a one-time mistake. Muscle memory. Instinct rooted in assumptions. If it happened to me, it could happen to any guest, not fitting your profile. He let it sink in. Talk about standards, hospitality, professionalism. None matters if it falls apart when a guest doesn't fit. Samuel stepped in. Brenda Sterling, indefinite suspension, pending investigation. Security personnel rotated for retraining. Chloe, 30-day probation. All staff undergo bias, diversity, sensitivity training immediately. Gasps, murmurs. Asher raised a hand. No one punished for asking questions, accountable for how and why. He turned to Leo. Last night, recorded truth, not attention. That's integrity. Leo offered position to continue training with my office on guest experience auditing. Leo looked stunned, nodded. Mr. Davies cleared his throat. Sir, may I? Asher nodded. Worked here since doors opened. Seen good people tire, tired people careless. Last night, saw you stand ground without raising voice. First time in long time, proud to wear this uniform. Room silent. David added, not just a reset, a reckoning. From now, every Sterling Group employee, your bias is your liability. Asher looked around, heads bowed, lifted, averted, all listening. Didn't come to fire people, came to find if culture had roots, some still needs watering. He stepped back. Samuel stepped forward. Mandatory debriefings noon, training sessions 2. Tower operates, but not unchanged. Asher left without fanfare. No applause, no final speech. He didn't need it. Passing the front desk, Chloe stood, eyes down but straighter. Leo followed, shoulders set, grip on phone. Mr. Davies cleaned, smiling. Asher smiled too. Elevator doors closed, cutting tension. Asher stood alone, reflection fractured. Silence pressed, he carried it. Suite 4201 opened. Room polite, scented, artificial calm. Windows overlooked city skyline. He dropped his bag, sat at the desk, opened laptop, typed, Dear Mr. Davies, tonight I stood still. Didn't yell, didn't plead, didn't convince anyone of my worth. Fingers paused. Samuel Reed once told me I didn't have the gravitas, didn't look the part starting out, couldn't afford a suit. Tonight, he worked for me, unknowingly delivering my message. A breath. City didn't blink. Exhausting carrying composure like armor, smiling to avoid bitter, calming voice to avoid angry, standing ground to avoid weak. Walking into rooms proving you belong, even with deed in hand. He leaned back. Saw a problem, not a person. Wonder how many more will. Eyes stung, no tears. Tears, once seen, ammunition. But I stayed. That means something. Stayed so next kid in casual clothes, tired eyes, big dreams, won't have to explain himself. Stayed so they'd remember what happened when assumptions spoke louder than hospitality. Closed laptop without saving, not meant to be sent. Rose, walked to window. City softer. Reflection hovered. Still standing. He walked to the board near the elevator. Removed a folded envelope, pinned its contents. A single ivory sheet, typed, signed, no heading, just 12 words. Don't just train them to serve. Teach them to see people. No one saw him place it, not the point. He stepped back, stared, then turned to the cafe. Morning crowd filtered in. He passed, absorbing,